So sometimes we may not need, because if we focus only on Manitoba, we may not need those indigenous lands outside Manitoba. So there's a tool, you can select certain areas and you can select those data of a certain area and then export that and only use that. That way, sometimes if you are only working on Manitoba data, then your ArcGIS would be working very faster than loading all the Canada-wide data. Or even let's say only if you only need a save file of a specific community, let's say for example Broken Head. Okay, for example, let's say Broken Head. So we can only select this area and export this Broken Head shapefile as a single shapefile, so that we don't need to worry about other communities shapefiles. Usually, let's say working in Manitoba, so let's uh, let's select indigenous lands, the indigenous reserves in Manitoba, and export that. For that, the selection tool, this is really important. So we can select by attributes, going to the attribute table and selecting. We can select by location. If we click here, it gives an option that we can select by making a shape. So we have this layer turned on, indigenous lands, and let's say we want to select the communities that fall within Manitoba. So we can make a polygon. Let's see how it works. We can make a polygon and it can select those areas inside the polygon. So we can further go towards Saskatchewan so that we can also see nearby communities. Let's double click. So now it is showing us, or it is selecting the information that is inside that polygon. So it is selecting both indigenous reserves as well as protected areas. So we don't need this. So let's go to clear selection. And because it selected everything inside there. So let's uncheck this protected areas and now select. The select tool is already turned on. So it's already active. If you want to deactivate this, then just go and click on explore. Now it's the hand tool is coming. Select. By default, it is selecting the polygon which we did before. So polygon here. Wow. Yeah, it's selected because I double clicked it, so it's selected. So it selected the data, those shapes that fall inside that polygon. And I think it is covering all these indigenous reserves. So now let's go to this layer and right click on there and right click and go to selection. If you put your mouse on selection, then you see different options: zoom to selection, pan to selection. Now here we can have make layer from selected feature. So if we click on here, it makes a layer from the feature. And from data option, if we click here, it exports the feature. So it converts a shape file geodatabase feature class to a shapefile. Let's click on export feature. If we want to add this selected feature only, then we can select, we can make a layer from this feature, right? Let's do this again. Indigenous land selection. So it is coming here. If we uncheck this, so we can only see those layers. And now let's still check this on because this is still selected because I haven't clicked on clear. Selection, data, export feature. So it is exporting in geodatabase file. Geodatabase is a better file than the shape file. Okay. Let's write output class indigenous reserves, indigenous reserve MB Manitoba. Output fields, so I can put this one. Properties. And let's run. So it's the conversion is done, and feature class to feature class completed. Can close, and I can wait a second this. Oh, now if I do it again, it's already exists. Now let me close this. Let's close the symbology. Let's go to map. Let's clear the selection so everything is clear. Now we can uncheck this, and this is here. These are the indigenous lands of Manitoba. And to show this, to see this, let's click on add data. Okay, now let's go to view, catalog pane. And now I 7200. Now here we can see under this geodatabase, we can see indigenous reserves MBL as a shape file. Mhm. So this has been exported as a different feature class. And now I can, this was the selected layer. I can remove this. So if I want to remove this, right click and remove. I can also remove Aboriginal land type. remove the layer. Now we have protected areas and indigenous reserves, Manitoba protected areas. Let's rename this indigenous reserves. So this is how we can select some of the information, the tools, and then we can export that as a separate one. So let's uncheck this. Now let's polygon. This is selected, and then right click, data, export feature. We can export here, or rejuvenation. Everything. The name contains invalid characters. Okay. You can see the errors. Maybe possible. It is not taking space. Let's run. I think it is creating. So when you name, then don't leave space. Just in between two words, give underscore. So that's get connected. Okay. Now this is here indigenous reserves, broken arrow Ojibwe nation. Let's close the pan, and if we uncheck others, let's clear our selection, go to explore, and we can have indigenous. Oh no, okay. Protected areas, and in this way we can give a different color to broken head Ojibwe nation, and we can still check this label on, and we can still check this file on, and we can write as indigenous reserves. So these are other indigenous reserves, and broken head, maybe let's change its color slightly, this one, apply, or maybe transparency 40%, apply, so close. So now in this map we can see here are other indigenous communities as well as broken head, and also protected areas. We have this, and let's choose a different base map so that we can clearly see the protected areas. Light gray canvas. Now it's to some extent distinct. We have these protected areas, and we have broken head Ojibwe nation. We have other indigenous communities. This is a very simple map showing broken head Ojibwe nation around that area, and also